Imagine North America, 100 million years ago, floodplains steaming after summer storms, conifer forests shading muddy oxbows, and something hunting in every shadow. The Cretaceous, from 125 to 66 million years ago, was the last, wildest act of the dinosaur era. Herbivores grew heavier armor, tighter herds, and keener senses. Carnivores answered with stronger jaws, sharper teeth, longer legs, and better brains. Scientists call it a predatory arms race, and the rocks remember every move. There are bite marks etched into ribs, healed fractures on frills, and footprints where hunters closed a ring around skittish prey. Teeth shed like shark teeth litter bone beds, each serration a barcode linking back to a killer across Mongolia, North Africa, and Hell Creek. The planet pulsed with risk. This episode unleashes those secrets. We will meet river shadows with crocodile skulls, horned sprinters with demon eyes, slicing giants from the south, and the bone-crushing monarch of the north. We will read coprolites and pathologies like a case file, reconstructing tactics, diets, and habitats. Forget movie monsters. The fossil record is fierce enough. Follow the tracks. Keep low in the reeds. When the water quiets and the dragonflies settle, listen to splash, a scream, a churn. Somebody lost the bet. Welcome to the frenzy. No Cretaceous carnivore looms larger than Tyrannosaurus rex. From 68 to 66 million years ago, it patrolled western North America, shadowing Triceratops and Giganotosaurus. At 12 meters and roughly 9 tons, Rex was more than big. It was biomechanical authority. Its skull was a box girder built of bone, braced to deliver an extraordinary bite. Models suggest a bite that cracked bone, leaving punctures matching tyrannosaur tooth spacing on ribs and frills. Those teeth were thick, banana-shaped, serrated, built to resist snapping while grinding tissue and bone. Yet, the legend is not strength alone. The inner ear and brain case imply keen hearing and balance. Forward-facing eyes granted depth perception for ambush timing. Leg proportions hint at steady. Ground-covering speed perfect for shadowing herds and pouncing when one animal faltered. Healed jaw lesions testify to face biting. Perhaps dominance contests, coprolites with pulverized bone show nothing went to waste. Hunter or scavenger? The record says both. Opportunistic like today's lions. Its tracks and shed teeth pepper late Cretaceous floodplain sediments across Montana. In the continent's closing act, the tyrant regulated ecosystems, pruning weak, sick, and unlucky animals. When storms broke, carrion scent drifted, and hoofbeats thundered. The king moved with purpose, and the valley held its breath. Across Cretaceous North Africa, in the chem beds of Morocco, rivers braided through vast wetlands, and a strange giant hunted the channel's Spinosaurus. Longer than Tyrannosaurus, with a crocodile-like skull and conical teeth. It specialized in fish. Bone density studies show heavy limb and trunk bones, ballast for a semi-aquatic lifestyle. Neural spines formed a tall sail, and the tail was deep and flexible, paddle-like in some fossils. Its feet were broad, and claws curved for gripping slick prey rather than raking flesh. Snout pits likely housed pressure receptors, sensing passing fish like crocodilians today. Isotopes from its teeth align with aquatic food webs, reinforcing the fishing hypothesis. Picture it sliding from a sandbar, body low, tail sculling, jaws snapping sideways to trap a 40-kilogram coelacanth. On land, Spinosaurus probably moved with a low center of gravity, more trek than sprint. It was no tyrant built for bone-crushing brawls. It was a river shadow, a specialist. That specialization anchored an ecosystem where giant sawfish, lungfish, and crocodiliforms swarmed. Predation pressure shifted into water, freeing some herbivores from constant land pursuit. Different weapon, same game convert living muscle into energy with ruthless efficiency. In the frenzy's watery lanes, Spinosaurus wore the crown, and silence returned after the splash. Giants defined the posters, but small. Quick killers wrote most daily drama. Raptors dromaeosaurs were built like athletes' light skeletons, stiffened tails for balance, grasping hands, and the famous sickle claw on each foot. Velociraptor, from Mongolia's Jadokta Formation, was turkey-sized yet lethal. A fossil preserves it locked with Protoceratops, forelimb in the frill, foot claw poised, both buried mid-struggle by a collapsing dune, feathers rimmed arms and tail, improving maneuverability and social display. Utah Raptor from North America and Dakota Raptor from Hell Creek ecosystems scaled the blueprint upward to car-sized hunters. Evidence for cooperative behavior remains debated, but trackways showing parallel strides and mixed age groups hint at coordinated pursuits. Teeth indicate diets broader than simple big-game lizards, mammals, juvenile dinosaurs, carrion when the chance arose. With forward-looking eyes and large brains, these predators likely relied on stealth, turns, and sudden bursts rather than brute force. Imagine a hadrosaur herd spooking at dusk. A raptor slips along a wash, angles across the wind, and drives a calf toward waiting jaws. Even when apex tyrants slept, raptors kept pressure on the landscape, testing fences, raiding nests, and stealing kills. They were the wolves and foxes of the Mesozoic, tireless and clever, turning every habitat edge into opportunity. While tyrannosaurs closed the Cretaceous in the north, the southern continents fielded their own titans. Giganotosaurus from Patagonia stretched over 12 meters, its skull long and low, packed with blade-like teeth. Unlike the thick, crushing teeth of tyrannosaurs, Carcharodontosaur teeth sliced meat, limiting breakage while cutting deep wounds. Nearby, Maposaurus populated bone beds with individuals of different ages, leading some researchers to propose group hunting. Picture a dozen predators harrying a young sauropod, slashing tendons, backing off, repeating until the giant toppled. Speed, stamina, and coordination mattered more than a single decisive bite. Patagonian ecosystems hosted enormous herbivores like Argentinosaurus. Predators scaled to match the prey base. Biomechanics suggests these hunters delivered quick, lateral head sweeps, using serrated edges like steak knives. Skull construction favored cutting over crushing, distributing stresses along long jaws. Scars on sauropod bones, shed teeth, and clustered trackways knit a narrative of pursuit across floodplains. The result was a brutality bleed. Wait! Advance! In that theater, Giganotosaurus was not a Rex clone, but an alternative solution to apex lighter bite, longer blade, wider arc. Continents separated by widening seas still converged on the same outcome: efficient meat conversion. Different tools, same job. The frenzy had many dialects, and the southern accent was sharp. Few predators looked stranger than Carnotaurus, the meat-eating bull from Argentina. Its brow sprouted short horns. Its skull was deep and muscular, and its forelimbs were stubbier than a tyrannosaur's. Skin impressions preserve a pebbly mosaic with larger bony knobs along the sides, a texture built for display and durability. At roughly 8 meters, Carnotaurus was not the biggest theropod, yet it seemed purpose-built for speed, long shins, powerful caudifemoralis muscles, and a lightweight body point to high running performance over firm ground. It hunted Patagonia's arid, open landscapes. The skull's joints and teeth suggest a specialized feeding style: rapid, repetitive bites, delivered during a rush, opening gashes before the prey escaped. Rather than wrestling, it sliced and withdrew, then struck again. Those forward-facing horns might have helped in headbutts or intimidation against rivals. Arms, absurdly short, were irrelevant. The legs and jaws did the work. Viewed in life, Carnotaurus would read as a horned sprinter with expressive skin, flashing through scrub, kicking dust, driving panic through herds of medium-sized herbivores. It embodies another path to predatory success in the Cretaceous sprint, slice, and break contact. When speed meets sharp edges, even armored prey must mind every step because one stumble turns distance into dinner. Predators shaped herbivores, and herbivores reshaped predators, round after round. Ankylosaurs welded bone into living armor and swung tail clubs like sledgehammers, capable of shattering a hunter's shin. Ceratopsians evolved broad frills and forward-thrusting horns. Bite marks on frills show attacks survived and remembered in bone. Hadrosaurs gathered in vast herds, counting on many eyes and legs to dilute risk. Sauropods simply scaled past danger, their size and sweeping tails denying most ambushes. In reply, carnivores refined tools and tactics. Tyrannosaurs thickened teeth and skulls for bone crushing. Carcharodontosaurs sharpened blades for arterial strikes. Dromaeosaurs tuned agility, trading reach for turning radius. The arms race left signatures everywhere: healed gouges, stress fractures, fused rib, and regrown tail tips. Even growth rings in bone hint at seasons of scarcity and plenty. When predators pressed advantages or starved back, every injury tells a story of pursuit, collision, and escape. Crucially, many attacks failed. Survivors carried scars into adulthood, bred, taught herd paths, and shifted the odds for the next season. Natural selection did not crown the fiercest individual, but the most effective strategy across generations. Balance emerged from bloodshed. Ecosystems stabilized because pressure was constant, not absolute. In the frenzy, losing was common, winning never guaranteed, and that churn built resilience. How do we reconstruct behavior from stone? Begin with trace fossils. Footprints capture gaits, speeds, and even interactions when predator tracks converge on prey tracks. Parallel trackways of similarly sized theropods suggest group movement at matched pace. Bite marks with tooth spacing can be tested against skulls. A match ties attacker to victim. Some bones show healing around punctures, proving the bite struck a living animal. Coprolites, fossilized dung, preserve microfragments of bone tissue, identifying meals and digestive power. Rare stomach contents freeze Last Suppers in specificity of fish within a Spinosaurus, a juvenile hadrosaur inside a small Tyrannosaur. Microscopic wear on teeth indicates feeding-style pits from crushing, fine scratches from slicing, isotopes in enamel trace food, webs and habitats, separating river hunters from upland prowlers. Histology, the study of bone microstructure, reveals growth rates and ages at death, showing when predators reached peak performance. Pathologies matter fused vertebrae, abscesses, and tendon ossifications reveal costs of hunting. Layer all lines together and patterns emerge, habitats partitioned by prey type, hunting times biased toward dusk, or scavenging spikes after storms. This is detective work with rigorous methods and conservative claims. The frenzy we describe is not fantasy. It is the simplest explanation that fits footprints, teeth, chemistry, and scars. Cretaceous carnivory spoke with regional accents. In Asia, Tarbosaurus, the long-snouted cousin of Tux rex, stalked Mongolian floodplains loaded with hadrosaurs and ankylosaurs. Velociraptor threaded dunes and gullies, while larger dromaeosaurs harried prey along oasis margins. In Africa, Spinosaurus dominated rivers as Carcharodontosaurus patrolled levees and dry country. Europe fractured into island chains. Predators there skewed smaller, nimble, and opportunistic, raiding nests and ambushing along shorelines. In North America, tyrannosaurs, dromaeosaurs, and troodontids overlapped with different prey sizes and tactics, a partition that reduced direct conflict. Australia's record is patchier, yet hints at agile, mid-sized hunters exploiting coastal forests. Climate-amplified differences. Arid belts favored endurance and long sightlines. Humid coasts rewarded stealth and short, explosive rushes. Where sauropods endured, blade-toothed giants thrived. Where horned dinosaurs diversified, bone crushers prospered. The result was convergence by need and divergence by place. Every continent solved the same problems with variations on speed, force, and precision. When sea levels rose, coastlines migrated and populations shifted with them. When volcanoes darkened skies, prey thinned and scavenging spiked. Yet, through droughts, floods, and shifting rivers, predators held niches, refining tools generation after generation. The frenzy was global, but its choreography changed with every map redraw. Seasonal monsoons rewired routes and flooded nesting. 66 million years ago, the curtain fell, an asteroid detonated over the Gulf, shock waves racing, forests burning, food webs collapsing. No Navian dinosaurs ended, but the predatory playbook survived through their feathered relatives. Every hawk stooping on a pigeon, every heron stabbing a fish. Echoes theropod heritage, keen senses, swift strikes, economical movement. For humans, the fossils do more than thrill. They teach how ecosystems balance violence with renewal. Predators do not simply kill, they sculpt. By pruning herds and culling disease, apex hunters stabilize landscapes and drive innovation in defenses. That was true in Hell Creek, Patagonia, and the Kem-Kem, and it remains true in modern savannas and wetlands. When we map bite marks, measure isotopes, and read growth rings, we honor that continuity with data, not myth. The frenzy of the Cretaceous was no cartoon. It was discipline born of scarcity, precision tuned by failure, and boldness paid in scars.